Welcome back, welcome back. On the 31st of December last year, the biggest and most expensive UN operation was born. UNAMID is the UN African Union mission in Darfur, and it was mandated to get 26,000 troops and police into Darfur. 6 months on, 6 months already, barely a third of that number have come so far. And UNAMID has faced criticism also over its failure to broker or keep the peace in Darfur. So in Khartoum this week, I spoke to the head of UNAMID, the joint UN African Union Special Representative in Darfur, Rodolphe Adada.
One of our problems is that we have not reached a number of troops that can make the difference. Since the transfer of authority, we still have this 10,000 more or less. But we have now a deployment plan, an enhanced deployment plan, and we hope that by the end of this year we will be at 80% of the...
Why has it taken so long?
It is taking so long, I believe, because there is a lack of engineering capacity in the mission, and we didn't completely achieve the deployment of the pre-arrangement. I mean, the light support package, the heavy support package, and you have also the normal logistical challenges in this country, and all these factors concur to the slowness of the deployment of the mission. But now, I think that we now have taken some decisions, and I hope that we will be speeding up this deployment.
And 9,000 is one thing, but even if you have a full complement, not 80%, but 26,000, even then, can you do the job in a country that is as big as France? Do you really need 100,000?
No. This number has been set by experts, by the AU and the UN. They visited the country, they assessed the situation and fixed this number of troops. But the issue is that the troops are not there to be the solution of the problems in Darfur. In this kind of problem, the key issue is an agreement, a political agreement, and then a peacekeeping mission. We are a peacekeeping mission, but we don't have this agreement, this peace to keep. I think that we are only one part of the solution, but it is not about the number of troops, but the political decisions.
But at the moment, there is no peace to keep, as people say. I mean, you've got to be, first of all, a peacemaking force, really, and then a peacekeeping force.
Yes, you can put it that way. We have the DPA, you know, the Darfur Peace Agreement, was not signed by the major groups. So it is not all inclusive. And this is why we have a political process parallel to the deployment of the mission of the troops to have an inclusive peace agreement, but we are not there, not yet.
What is the one most important thing that needs to happen here in this troubled land? What's the one thing that really would be
Just
the breakthrough?
one.
What's the most important?
Yes, I think that it should be the signing of all-inclusive peace agreement between Sudanese, between the movement and the government. We have to engage the movement to understand that there is no military solution in the Darfur issue. only a political agreement will give a solution to that problem.
But it's all the more difficult with the rebels splitting up into so many, is it 15 factions today?
I don't know the number, and I'm not sure that somebody knows the number, but this is one of the problems, but it is there. We have to cope with all this, and this is one of the problems we are facing to have this all-inclusive peace agreement. But it is a key to the Darfur issue.
But what about the problems of banditry now and of you losing vehicles? And
yes, I think that the banditry, this is one of the problems there. The banditry is there because Darfur is now something like a lawless region, because you have so many troops, so many people carrying arms, and of course, they are trying to use these arms as a credit card.
do you think, compared with the beginning of the year,
Yes.
when the new organization, UNAMID, came into being, has the situation in Darfur improved at all, or is it just getting worse?
I can say that with the transfer of authority, the troops, UNAMID, with the new mandate, have managed to do more. But at the same time, as we don't have this agreement, this kind of situation cannot improve by itself. And it is a balance between the efforts we are doing, which are really amazing, because we, for example, for the patrols, in January we had something like 200 patrols, and last month these figures climbed to 600. So we are doing our best with the troops, with the equipment we have. But at the same time, this is not enough, and the situation by itself is getting worse.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Millions of Darfuris fleeing the fighting are now dependent on food aid from the World Food Programme in order to live, in order to survive. While I was in Khartoum, I spoke to the WFP's director in Sudan, Kenro Oshidari. Kenro, the World Food Programme is obviously vital, but I hadn't realised until I came here that it's also dangerous. In what way?
Well, currently our main worry is the security. Since January this year, and in this matter of 6 months, 79 of our trucks carrying our food have been attacked. And out of that, 53 trucks are still missing, and 39 drivers are missing, and 2 killed on the spot.
How much distribution do you still do? I mean, how much, for instance, how many people in Darfur did you feed?
In Darfur, currently we are assisting about 3.5 million people. And out of that, about 2 million are displaced people living in camps, displaced from their villages. And the other 1.5 are not displaced, but nevertheless affected by the conflict, so their agriculture, their livelihood is affected. So we provide them with seasonal assistance, especially right now when we consider it hunger season before the harvest.
And so that's the difference between life and death for some of those people, for a lot of them, I guess.
Oh yes, especially for the displaced people in camps, they are 100% reliant on foreign assistance.
You are a part of the UN in one sense and of the effort, but you are not funded by the UN in any way, are you? You have to find donors to do this.
Exactly. We are part of the UN, of course, but our funding is completely 100% voluntary. So we do need to raise funds for each grain of cereals we provide.
And how many of the people you feed were, when you first found them perhaps, were really facing death in a matter of days? I mean, thousands and millions presumably.
Well, when I first came in 2004, this is when we were gearing up the assistance in Darfur. The conflict occurred in 2003, and initially we had difficulty getting into Darfur. So I saw the people just out of their villages, displaced in camps, and they really came with nothing. So food, water, shelter, everything was needed at that point. Now, of course, it's 5 years later from the conflict, so the situation is a little bit more stable.
Was it the worst crisis in all your experience to date?
Yes, I would say so. I have worked in Kosovo crisis, tsunami, etc. But the massive displacement of people, which happened all of a sudden, and people running away from their villages with nothing, and it's a very poor area to start out with. So the poverty on top of that, this massive tragic conflict, has made this situation one of the worst I have seen personally.
Thanks there to Kenro. In a moment, a leading member of the GEM rebels in Darfur. What is it that they really want? Let's hope we find out after this short break.